The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 29th day of January 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. Maya Palacio will be with you in a bit to let you know what's trending in the news. Well, happy Monday, folks. Happy Monday. It's been a while. Haven't seen you in a couple days. What's everyone been up to? I think I'm through with sports. I don't even have an NFL team, and I was like frustrated yesterday. Motown, got our hopes up high, and then the Baltimore Ravens decided to show up all season, but that game, and then and I don't have a team. So that's what makes it even more incredible. How was your weekend? Like, did you all have a better weekend than I? And good morning to you, Tanya Cheeseman. She says, morning, Jamal and Maya. Morning to you. Hope all is well. Haven't seen you over this side in a while, Tanya Cheeseman. I see you've been on Instagram tuned in lately. Suzanne Ingham says, good morning, Jamal and Maya. Then she says Jamal. So we appreciate your correction. But yeah, how you doing, folks? How was your weekend? Morning, Larry Marshall Jr. Hope you're recovered well. Larry has been down, so I hope that you are back to normal, sir, and we'll see you back here soon. Yeah, a couple of my colleagues, folks, they were supposed to be riding with me and arguing with me on the show last week, but, health does these things. Kathy Rogers says, the NFL games this weekend were, they were. But I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I'm lying. Usher's performing. I'm a big Usher fan. I'm a guy like that. I'm an Usher fan. I'm a ride for him. So I will be watching the Super Bowl. Yeah. If you ain't watching, folks, the only thing that pisses me off about the Super Bowl is that during the Usher concert, they're going to probably have a camera on that Taylor Swift person. That's my problem. Plain Jane, whatever. Good morning, Mark Arthur C. Phillips says. Larry Marshall Jr. says, feeling much better. We're glad to hear it. Morning to you, Traveling Trotty. She says, morning to today's family. Let's bring Maya and see what's trending real quickly. Thankfully, I don't think she watches the NFL, so we don't have to talk about that. Morning, MP. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm laughing back here because I'm like, it's so funny. Just over the last couple of days with a couple of my friends, that we were watching some of the NFL halftime shows Super Bowl halftime shows. Just like get a glimpse of them, and like we're like saying like, oh, that one kind of sucked, that one was really great, blah blah. So you bring up Usher, and I was like talking about like how like, yeah, man, Usher's gonna come on, he's gonna do amazing because I love him, but I'm excited for that.
I think Usher could. My favorite. A lot of people won't remember this, probably before you were born, but Michael Jackson, I think in 93 or 91, boy. Woo! That was I think he set this, standard as to what a halftime show looked like. Prince did pretty well some years ago. I think those are the best two I've seen. Jacko and Prince. They did it. Prince turned the Hill Stadium purple. I know many people in that hive stand say Beyonce, she can't touch none of those brothers. I'm sorry. I'm like that. She don't do it for me. But anyway, Maya, what's trending?
Well, good morning, everyone. What's trending in our news this morning is a firearm has been recovered by police. CCTV cameras have come up with another update from the Ministry of National Security, and Shikari Famous breaks the indoor Bermuda national record.
Ooh, that's awesome. We're breaking records this morning, folks. Well, it is Monday. Little pick-me-up time. Might as well do a joke.
I'm on a good mood right now. Why you?
Might as well. I mean, it's Monday. Everyone, you know how many people right now are going to jobs they hate? I mean, why not give them a pick-me-up?
Okay, Jabal.
Okay. Thank you for playing along, Maya.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. It's joke time, folks. Maya, what is a dog's favorite pizza topping?
What is a dog's favorite pizza topping? Well, most dogs do favorite cheese, but go on, tell me the joke.
Maya, a dog's favorite pizza topping is pepperoni. Get it? Puppy pepperoni. See, she got it. She got it too. You're going.
Because it just sounds cool, but
See you later.
Yeah. See you later.
That didn't work out, folks. That didn't quite work out. See, Charlie and Charlie, funny. We appreciate Charlie and Charlie. Yes, Hadley and Swan. Yeah, see, Tanya, I got you all smiling and laughing. So my daughter said it. See, Sam kept playing. See, that was a good one. That was good. Well, here's the thing, right? If you just happen to be going to a job that you hate or dislike this morning, I hope you think of my corny dad jokes and they bring a smile to your face and help you get through your day. That's it. But anyway, we've got a very important question this morning. So I'm going to head over to Instagram. So we had a question up on our Instagram yesterday, right? And the question was, well, there were a couple of questions actually. So I don't know. Let's go to the Royal Gazette, our friends over at the Gazette first. So there was a story on the Gazette saying survey 72% thinking about leaving Bermuda, right? And the story says almost a quarter of Bermuda residents are thinking about leaving the island primarily because of concerns about their financial future, according to a survey. Of those polled, 48% said they may consider planning an exit strategy to find better job opportunities and a standard of living elsewhere, higher standard of living elsewhere. Fewer than a third of the 209 polled by Narrative Research said that they intended to live in Bermuda for the rest of their lives. The poll was conducted in the first week of December, giving respondents 3 different case scenarios to reflect their intended future living situations. Residents were asked if they were considering a move to a different jurisdiction, if they may consider a move at some point in the future, or if they were satisfied with the quality of life on the island and had no plans to relocate. Almost a quarter, 24%, said they were already considering leaving the island, and 48% said that they were open to a move at a later date. Just 28% of respondents said that they had no intention of moving and wanted to continue to live in Bermuda for the rest of their lives. Of those planning to leave or thinking of a move, the vast majority, 69%, cited financial concerns as their prime motivator, with the economy, the cost of living, and worries about the retirement being the top reasons. A further 14% believed that better employment opportunities and incomes were available overseas. The survey revealed other concerns about Bermuda's future. 10% respondents expressed concern over the government's performance, political instability, and suspected corruption as reasons to leave. Now, let's address something first, right? So you heard that number, 209, fewer than 209 people were polled. So because, you've got to understand what it's called, sample size. I believe the sample size for Bermuda is just under 400. Like, is it three something? Let's check. We're going to go to sample size calculator, all right? And we're going to put let's put 63,000. Let's put 63 because we honestly don't know. So what's the sample size? With a margin of error at 5%, confidence level 95%, a required sample size is 382. All right. So let's get that out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. Because we know some people, oh, well, 209 as a sample size. Look, at the end of the day, you don't need anything scientific. So we're going to go to our survey on our stories, right? So the question was, have you thought about leaving Bermuda? So percentage-wise, what's 36 plus 22? You got carry that. Okay, you got 58. All right, so 58 people responded, right? And 62% of that 58 said yes, and 38% said no. So that's what we've got from asking you, the audience. Have you thought about leaving Bermuda? When asked where would you live if not Bermuda, we got England, Colorado or Wales, the UK. We got Canada. We got the UK. We got Asia. We got Jamaica. We got Canada. We got UK. We got a country in West Africa. We got UK. We got Australia. We got Scotland. We got Thailand. We got Atlanta. We got Portugal. We got Mallorca or UK. We got North Carolina. We got Canada. We got the US. We got somewhere in Europe. Oh, there's a lot of responses. This is giving a lot. We've got New York City, and we've got Africa. All right. And then we asked, what are your reasons for considering leaving Bermuda? And these are the responses we've got. Better education for my daughter. Join family. I have no intentions of leaving, someone said. Someone said too expensive. Someone says none. Someone says cost of living. No opportunities for creatives. We got better opportunities for my daughter. We've got lack of opportunities. We've got retirement. We've got healthcare costs in retirement and general cost of living. We've got my retirement money will go further. Netherlands, someone says education, cost of living, too expensive for balance. And then we asked, have you left Bermuda previously and moved back home? If so, why? And we got moved back home because of COVID. We got, yes, circumstances changed. We've got only left Bermuda for schooling. No, I've never left Bermuda. Nope, just for boarding school and college I left. No, I've never left Bermuda. Only during COVID did I return home. Yes, wanted to be closer to aging parents, so I moved back. Yes, moved back to Bermuda so that my child can grow up in the culture. Yes, I went to university, but I now wish in hindsight that I should not have returned home. Just went to university, so in short, no. I worked overseas for 4 months. Real work-life balance. All right, so those are some of your responses. And this morning's question is, why are so many people considering leaving Bermuda? And what can be done to change this? All right. So why are so many people considering leaving Bermuda, and what can be done to change this? But audience, I just want to ask you, yes or no? Have you ever considered leaving Bermuda? Yes or no? Have you ever considered leaving Bermuda? Have you ever considered leaving Bermuda? Charlotte Fox says, no place like home, like my home, Bermuda. My sons and his friends have been gone for 4 years to the UK. He's done. Malachi Troy says, if you could work a year and pay a piece of property and build a house, would you still get a loan and pay it for 30 years? I like where he's going. Let me save Malachi's comment. I want to come back to this. All right. So Pharaoh Palacio says, a lot of people wish they hadn't returned. It's sad, but not shocking. Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of people. I mean, I ain't calling their names. I just got some relatives that I told stay outside of Bermuda as long as possible. Not because you hate Bermuda, but just to gain as much life experience as you can that you're not going to get in Bermuda. If I told you I was in a room with 10 people and told them that and they didn't listen, 9.5 of them would say, dang, I should have listened. The reason that because half a person is so ingrained in Bermudian culture and the good situation, maybe living with mommy and doesn't have to pay bills, that they're like, I wouldn't have got this elsewhere. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure most people would have stayed. Have you ever considered leaving Bermuda? Yes, says Miss Palacio. Suzanne Ingham says yes. Aaron Smith says yes. Tanya Cheeseman says no. Manuela John says yes. Che Renee says yes. Hedeline Swan says nope. Karen Simmons says no. Jeanette Richardson says no. Kia Vinay BDA says have left already since 2016 for the UK. Traveling Charlie says yes. Maria Seaman says no. Malachi Troy says yes. Michelle White says yes. I considered not returning, but came back for my fiance, now husband. And Carol Griffith says yes. I've noticed something interesting by the no's and nopes. And this is not to be rude or offensive, but it should concern every last one of us in this community conversation this morning. I don't know everyone who's commenting personally to know your age, but it seems that everyone who's saying no is over the age of 45, which means if all the young people are saying yes, who's going to take care of these older or elderly folks once they get that age? If all the young people are considering leaving. I just want us to think about that. Talent, you said it. Age has a lot to do with the nose. That's what I was just saying. I want the older Bermudians who are saying no. The Bermudians who are 45 and older who are saying no. I want you to consider that. Maya, let me know if there's any comments on Instagram, because I'm not tuned in on Instagram to see if there's any comments, and definitely don't want to leave anyone out of this most important community conversation this morning. But let's go to the comments now. Again, the question this morning, why are so many people considering leaving Bermuda, and what can be done to change this? What can be done to change this? Ms. Palacio says, Bermuda is my dream physically. Such a beautiful, mainly peaceful space. But you can't do anything if you don't have the money and need a lot. Shika Reyna said, I left in 98. Charles H. Jeffers II says, I believe a lot of people are considering leaving because they have little to no hope for the future. Risaldo Severin says, left, came back, would leave again. Talent TJ Clark says, who's going to be paying into pension if the younger... This is talent, man. Where have you been, brother? Where have you been? But this is where I'm going. Every person who's over 45 that said no, y'all need to be considering this. We already have an aging population, so you got to get out of this thing where Bermuda's my home, I'm never leaving. Remember the second part of that question, right? The question is, why are so many people considering leaving Bermuda? But that second part of the question is what we all need to be focused on. What can be done to change this? What can be done? Look at this show. Maya went to Canada. I'm here in South Florida. Sherry's in Atlanta. We're all Bermudian born. We have some problems, and we're not, I don't quite think that we're selfless enough to think beyond our own feelings. Omar H. James says, early 40s, lived overseas for several stretches and always came back because Bermuda is home, but finally considering not coming back at all. The decline on the island is stark and the balance just isn't there anymore. Early 40s, he's younger than 45. Nicole Hassel, I'm 58 this year. My word, you look very young for your age. I haven't seen you in person, but based on Facebook. And I have no intention of retiring here. If I had a few millions, I would have left a long time ago. Malachi Troy says no one wants to get a loan for a house 30 years or more. Absolutely. We don't live in that time anymore. We really technically never did. That's the American nightmare. Some people call it a dream. Dr. Maria Seaman says, have no trust for younger ones to take care of me. It's my home. If you have no trust of the younger ones, what have you done as an elder? That's on you. I tell you what, if I had no trust in younger ones, I'm looking in the mirror and saying, well, what did I do where I don't trust this younger generation to take care of a space I love? No harsh feelings, no disrespect, just a realistic perspective, Dr. Seaman. Kathy Rogers says, our island is in serious crisis, but I'm hopeful for the future of our island. However, it doesn't look promising. Traveling Trotty says numerous students are choosing to attend boarding schools abroad during a crucial stage in their development, and this decision is anticipated to have a lasting impact on Bermuda. Yeah, you heard what Connor Smith said. Connor left for boarding school at 14. He's literally lived his life outside of Bermuda since then, right? We've got Dr. Seaman says already saving, investing, already saving. Okay. Suzanne Ingham says, what do the young people have to look forward to if there's nothing for them and they'll have no pension? If they'll have no pension, what is the point of giving the pension? I'm over 45 and yes, I thought of leaving. There you go. Schaefer says, will the generation who is paying get a pension at age? This is my concern, as it should be everyone's. Foreigners seem to come and stay. Come on, Dr. Seaman, if you're going to say that, you've got to be a bit more direct with it. And let's be honest. Whatever country you look at, foreigners pretty much find a way to thrive. You look at the United States of America. This is why you have the Black Americans, ADOS on FBA, if you understand that. This is why Black Americans look at people like me and others and see us as an enemy, because we're foreigners who they see as thriving when they should be taken care of. This is normal. That's number one. Number two, of course, foreigners are going to thrive when they do things that Bermudians are not willing to sacrifice and basically probably shouldn't have to sacrifice. But we can have that conversation if you want to go one-to-one, Dr. Seaman. Charles H. Jeffers II says, I've heard a lot of older Bermudians leaving or considering leaving Bermuda to survive off their pensions. According to this combo, I'm not sure. Graham Smith says, higher cost of living in the world, broken infrastructure, system is fixed to benefit large companies like GenCom, Brookfield, etc. Well, I mean, I'm gonna stop there. What are your thoughts on that, audience? Michelle White says, it may happen that the young ones come back by choice, not encouragement. They are not thinking of retirement yet, but if they come back, will burden our already challenged senior system. We've got Michael Daniels, don't most small towns face similar challenges? This is good. This is good. I think the problem with this statement is most small towns are supported by counties, bigger cities, bigger countries, states, provinces. Like, there's so much more. I know there's only so many characters that we can type in the comments, but there's much more than that you could have done. We've got no, I shouldn't have to read. I did read your next comment, Dr. Seaman, and it still makes no sense to me. Like I said, we could have a one-on-one when you're ready. I miss your point. I don't agree with your point. Anyway, yes, Alice Malachi Troy says Maria Seaman, that's the biggest issue in Bermuda, the disconnect. Maybe she's talking to Malachi, I don't know. Kia Renee BDA says, I love Bermuda for its nature and would only come back to visit once it has gone through quite a substantial change. Let me just say this to every and anyone. Every and anyone. I know I will be back in Bermuda very soon. And I want to tell anyone and everyone who lives outside of Bermuda, who is considering leaving Bermuda, that there's always a way to impact change in Bermuda, regardless of where you are. I hated Bermuda at one point. And as I was just saying to someone this weekend, when I was in college, all I wanted to do was get back to Bermuda. My stance, my issue, my thoughts about not wanting to live in Bermuda did not change until I was treated like a dog, according to your former governor, by the government of Bermuda. Until we fought conscription to end modern day slavery in Bermuda, that's when my thoughts about Bermuda, like, we don't value Black men. And a friend of mine said, well, look, the US, you could get gunned down and this and that. I said, well, look, this is true. But as a Black man in Bermuda, if the government's not out to get you, another Black man was. If another Black man weren't out to get you, the white people and corporations were. You literally have to be a part of a system, a willing participant. That's how I felt. Now, some people may say, well, the US, I mean, you got two elderly men who don't like Black people running for president in the US. It's true. But it's also a bigger country where you can go unnoticed and achieve and accomplish a lot of things. We're going to bring Maya Palacio in. We've got some comments on Instagram, I think, as well. Let's see who's commenting. We've got, oh, wow, Bo General 85s. I'm ready to join Sherry in Atlanta. We've got Chris Crosscats, always the important conversation, sir. We appreciate you, Chris Crosscat. I don't want to miss any comments, but we've got to bring, hold on, let me just, I've been doing this lately. People keep telling me don't do it, but I'm going to do it. No, she ain't talking to me. Don't do it, Jamal. Let's go to bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break. Don't do that, because anybody's welcome to come on.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
It's quite a conversation you got going right now, Jamal. I just remember, like, when you started up, I just started thinking, like, I remember having this. So I don't know if people might recall on the show, I actually put up that story. I was going around in Bermuda in town and asking people, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to spend the rest of your life in Bermuda?
Mm-hmm.
If you recall that story, I did that last year. And yeah, a lot of them were like 5s, 4s, some 7s from the older generation as well. But yeah, it's low.
Yeah, I think what concerns me, even just from this conversation this morning, is the second part. Everyone's so into their feelings, and especially, I'm gonna pick on older Bermudians, and I don't care if I offend people at this point, but you're part of the reason why younger people are leaving, because you just don't get it. Dr. Seaman, I'm talking to people like you. You don't get it, and you don't care to get it, because all you do is care about what you care about with this narrow view, right? Like it's really not becoming. I'm not talking about younger people in their 20s, just 30s, early 40s, late 30s. Understand that, and then answer the second part of the damn question where I'm asking, what can be done to change this? Do you even care? Because for me, I want to get Bermudians back to Bermuda. As I just said, my goal is to be back soon. That should be the goal, to bring our brightest and best back. But alas, here we are. Anyway, Maya, I'm sorry. Some people just, whew, it's my oatmeal. It's my oatmeal. Put too many blueberries in it this morning.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by the amazing people at People's Pharmacy. Starting out your news this morning, a firearm has been recovered by police after a traffic stop in St. George's. This occurred on January 27th on the Saturday. Let's listen for more. A firearm has been recovered by police after a traffic stop in St. George's. Police were conducting road traffic checks on Mullet Bay Road, St. George's, shortly before 4:30 p.m. on January the 27th when they stopped a motor car driven by a 22-year-old male. Officers conducted a search of his person, and a quantity of controlled drugs was found in his possession. He was arrested and escorted to the Hamilton police station, where he was processed and detained. A warrant was subsequently executed at the subject's residence. During a search at that location, a firearm was recovered and seized. Officers also recovered and seized a large quantity of controlled drugs along with an amount of cash. An investigation into this matter is underway, and no further information will be provided at this time.
That's unfortunate. I mean, 22 years old, you said?
Yeah, quite young. Though it's not exactly clear whether or not it was definitely at his residence, but we're just going to leave it that he was the 22-year-old that was driving the vehicle that got stopped. Well, in other news, there have been 23 entrepreneurs that were recognized by BEDC for their educational achievements. So BEDC recently celebrated the achievements of participants in 2 of its multi-week educational courses at the Northeast Hamilton Incubator Hub. The events acknowledged and had the dedication to progress of those who completed the Entrepreneurship 101 and Financial Statements Planning and Costing using QuickBooks courses. The Entrepreneurship 101 course, led by Dante Hunt, provided an in-depth understanding of small business management and developing a business plan over 8 weeks. Participants learn the essentials of starting a business in Bermuda, including understanding local legislation and its impact, developing a preliminary business plan, and establishing key business and government contacts as well. So something that we could probably even talk about more about trying to start businesses in Bermuda too.
Yeah, I look forward to that because as Craig Simmons says, our economy needs people. Our economy needs people. And one of the ways out of the economic state that we're in is entrepreneurship. Understanding what entrepreneurship is and how it works is going to be crucial to the development and growth of our economy.
Definitely. Now, in other news, Curb Bermuda pioneers the National Day of Racial Healing observance in Bermuda, and this will occur on February the 6th. So, Citizens Uprooting Racism in Bermuda proudly announced its endorsement and adaptation of the global celebration of the National Day of Racial Healing. So, Bermuda is leading the organization on anti-racism and restorative practice, will designate February 6th as a day for this significant observance. Now, the National Day of Racial Healing presents an opportunity for the entire community to unite against racism, bias, inequity, and injustice. CURB invites individuals and organizations to engage in activities, events, or strategies that foster healing and address these critical issues in Bermuda society. Now, they will have an event that will occur in BUEI. The first half of the morning from 8:30 to 3:30 will be for students, and it'll have like keynotes, historical insight, and interactive practices. And then in the evening time, later on, there will be another event for the whole community.
What does racial healing mean? I don't understand that. Shall I ask them?
You can definitely do that, but it's right now. I think I don't know if you were at the one. No, you weren't because you're not in Bermuda. But there was one that they had at the BUEI with a bunch of students, and they brought up practices, and they had the students actually discuss what they think it is and what they've seen in their own schools that they believe needs that healing. So it was like a whole bunch of dialogue in that way.
Okay, got you. I'm interested. I wish I could attend, but yeah, I'm curious to how racial healing works. Who's being healed, white folks or black folks?
That's a good question. I guess I would say for anyone that's tuning in, I don't know if you want to ask your HR, but see if they're going to recognize the day and what they plan to do.
Of course, those DEI folks be like, "Yay! Let's put some black person up front and say we love black people and women, and you know how it goes, and then right back to normal." But anyway, go ahead.
In other news, the Ministry of National Security noted that contrary to social media posts which have captivated the community's interest, speed cameras are not currently operational in Bermuda. And instead, the ministry encourages the public to be mindful of its ongoing and active CCTV installation project. Here's a little bit more. They say, as a reminder, our CCTV initiative is one of our throne speech pledges, as the ministry has stated in numerous announcements. Most recently in October 2023, the installation of the new CCTV system continues and is well advanced towards completion. As we previously shared, the CCTV system will provide enhanced capabilities such as license plate recognition. It's expected that speed cameras will form part of the new CCTV system. However, that is another aspect that will be implemented as part of the project's next steps.
So people were concerned that they were going to get caught speeding on camera.
That's the main objective. Yes, that was the crisis.
Where these cameras? Where are they going to be? I mean, not like I speed, but where are they going to be?
There's going to be a ton. I do recall mentioning it here on the reports, but I will get a further update on just how many there are. But they're almost at completion, even though it was meant to be completed last year.
Yeah, I think. I mean, my hope is that it changes behavior and that the courts aren't fully backed up. I would hate to think this is something that's going to make the government more money in terms of people's behavior. I would hope that it encourages change behavior on our roads.
Exactly. Now, in other news, you may have caught my live with Ayani Nesbitt, but she was the 10th pick in the first round drafting for the National Women's Soccer League. And we had an amazing discussion, and a lot of it was talking about how she even moved into her professional career and kind of like what that looked like. Because after you finish university, I'm sure a lot of athletes want to know, like, what's the next steps? Who calls you? How do you know you're even in this moment right now? So we had a bit of a chat. Here's a quick glimpse of what we discussed.
The process is it's different for everyone. I had various calls with teams just about a lot of things. They're asking questions. I'm asking questions, just getting a vibe, and also still not limiting your opportunities. Still seeing if there's potential opportunities overseas or wherever the case may be. But no, it was definitely probably a month of, once again, just a stressful couple of weeks. So definitely just a lot of communication, staying on top of that networking, talking to all these different coaches. But like I said, in regards to those conversations with other teams, Chicago wasn't one of them. So, that's why it made that moment that much more scary, but also that much more special and enjoyable and memorable.
I really appreciated that conversation. Enjoyed it, folks. If you didn't watch it live, you can go back, watch it on Media Maya on YouTube. But it was a very, very humbling conversation. I mean, she shared how cricket, football. Like I didn't even know she played cricket, but also the intense, like the work that she has had to put in. It's an amazing. It's like last week we had Debbie Jones Hunter on, right? And what's been incredible about that is Maya had done a video on Instagram, and the amount of Bermudians, I mean, Bermudians from so many different spaces who have said, wow, I did not know this.
Mhm.
That conversation with Leilani, don't let that be us 20, 30 years from now. Like we didn't know what she shared with us the other day. Like it's an incredible story. And she's still so young and been through so much. Like it was incredible. So I'd encourage you and your young people just to tune in, check that conversation out.
Definitely. I mean, just to give you some little bit more insight, like she left from she was 13 years old with like her scholarship when it came to cricket. 13, that's quite young to like again go but start this career of athleticism. And she also talks about what made her pick football over cricket and just her journey throughout her life. It's quite incredible. Obviously, she's just finishing. Well, just starting, preseason with the Chicago Red Stars. She got her first game coming up, and we're hoping that she's going to be one of the starting lineups for that first game against Utah Royals. So.
I want to go back to what you said. She left at 13. Remember what I said about Connor Smith, left at 14, right? These young, I mean, they're sacrificing family, friends, like events at such young ages to pursue their goals and dreams. And a lot of the work that they're doing is stuff you just don't see in a social media age.
Mm-hmm. Now, closing out with some sports, as I mentioned, Sakai Famous had an outstanding week, earning the Southland Conference Track and Field Athlete of the Week award, winning an event, setting a new school record, and breaking a complex record that has stood since 1990. Here's another clip from Sakai Famous. The Bermudian athlete competes for the McNeese State University, and their website said, quote, Sakai Famous earned Southland Conference Track and Field Athlete of the Week. Famous leaped 1.75 meters in high jump to claim the gold medal at the Sanford Invitational this past weekend. It was her second best mark of the season, following her 1.80 meter leap at the LSU Purple Tiger, an inch and a half higher. Her best mark ranks for 22nd in the NCAA, while this prior mark is tied for 43rd in the nation. The university also said that Sakai Famous broke her own school women's high jump record.
Congratulations, man.
Yep. And Famous is now the third person to break an indoor national record for Bermuda in the 2023-2024 season.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I wonder if she's related to our TDH community member, Rosalind Famous. I mean, congratulations to her, man. That, I always want to do high jump, but, I just was so.
Sorry.
Maya, I always want to do high jump, but I was vertically challenged back then, so I didn't really you get what I'm saying? What's the weather like, Maya?
Today it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good in the weather. It's going to be cloudy with showers, rain, and a risk of thunder by noon. Winds are looking strong, some gale force winds as well. We have a high of 71 degrees.
All righty. I just want to say, honestly, folks, I love Dr. Maria Seaman. Don't take anything like we're fighting here. Trust me. She knows I'm about to love for her, but we agree to disagree on a lot of stuff. So I don't want anyone thinking she's this mean person, or like we're being mean to each other. Dr. Seaman and I have history. You've seen it on this show. I just want to put that out there. It's days of the year, Maya. I saw a couple of things, Maya.
Actually, can I say my days of the year?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's actually not will be every single day now, but today is my niece's birthday. So happy birthday to Messiah, and I wish her the absolute joy in life. She's very young, 2 years old. So
Happy birthday, Messiah. But you said it's going to be every day now?
Oh, every year now.
Oh, geez.
Every year for this day. It's going to be Messiah Day.
Happy birthday, Messiah. And due to Teo, I'm putting it out there. Due to Teo screwing up on Friday and ending the stream, folks, we didn't get to really show any love, but I just wanted to, again, send so much love to Sherry and her family, and Marcia Bradshaw, who's always in the comments. Last week they, celebrated her father's life. I just wanted to, all of us to wrap our arms around them and just let them know that they are loved and appreciated. Also, my niece, she turned like 11 the other day, and that means that I'm like, oh, on Friday was her birthday. So days of the year, though, we have a days of the year, Maya. And I don't know what I should choose, because you're going to like this one. It's Free Thinkers Day or Corn Chip Day. Which one?
I like Free Thinkers.
Free Thinkers? All right. It's Free Thinkers Day. Well, who would be considered a free thinker? We've got History of Free Thinkers Day. Free Thinkers Day falls on the birthday of Thomas Paine, a prominent thinker whose work and publications promoted a philosophy of enlightenment, heavily influenced the course of American and French revolutions. Although he was English-born, Paine was a courageous man whose life and work was an inspiration for those who wanted to find their independence. His efforts promoted the rejection of abstract authority that embodied power and self-promotion over reason. So, Free Thinkers Day, how do we celebrate? Read some of his work, read the Declaration of Independence. I think that stuff's not free thinking in my opinion.
No, got taken aback a bit there.
Yeah, I think I find it hard. Anyway, Free Thinkers, happy Free Thinkers Day, folks. Honestly, I'll say this much about Free Thinkers. This show exists so that we can have free thought, have conversations and debates, so that we can find ways to move our island that we all love forward, so that no one considers leaving. Maya, we'll see you tomorrow.
You'll see me tomorrow.
All right, pepperoni. I'm hilarious.
Okay.
God bless you, folks. If you appreciated today's conversation so far, give us a thumbs up, a love like. We're going to continue the conversation when we come back. All right, folks? Do not go anywhere.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's.
Welcome back to the Big Show. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. We've got some cool things coming up. February 1st is in what? When is Wednesday or Thursday? Whatever. It's this week sometime. So make sure you're tuned in. We've got some things coming up, and make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Let's get back to the question of the morning. It was, why are so many people considering leaving Bermuda? But I want us to focus on this second part. What can be done to change this? Now, we had some very good comments from you all, and I want to go back to them. We had, because you said some stuff that I agree with, like the world is so much smaller. A few of you said that, so forgive me if I don't get it, but we want to say, go to Farah Palacio. She said, growing up in Bermuda and working in sales/retail as a young person, something that always stood out was that the older generation want us to do something, but will not make room. Interesting. Well, in fairness to older people and older generations, some of them can't afford to make room because remember that pension thing we were talking about? Yeah. Rosalind Famous says, one thing we can think and do differently is to figure out how we can tap into the power of the Bermuda diaspora around the world. I like that. And Maya, hope she doesn't mind me saying, is working on a wonderful project that may actually do that. So stay tuned to Medium Maya. She is working on a wonderful project on doing some work like that. Suzanne Ingham says, government doesn't value anyone. They are the issue, all parties, too much dictating. I hear you, and I'm not here to disagree with you, but I believe in the power of the people. I do not want us to rely or think about the government as the ones who can solve our problems. They can't. They aren't going to. Governments care about one thing, getting reelected. We have to focus on how we can find a better way for ourselves. Kia Renee BDA says, I love Bermuda for its nature and would only come back to visit once it has gone through quite a substantial change. What kind of changes would you like to see? And I get you. I get you. What kind of changes would you like to see, though? Anything in particular? We've got Kenton Trott. he says, for many young people, they don't see much opportunity here unless you are interested in insurance, law, or the medical field. Let's talk about it, because it's not just an age thing, it's an industry thing. Many people in the IB sector, we've had people on the show. Oh, my life's perfect. My life's great. We've seen them. They've been on this show, right? There is a big difference in who, like the industry based on they work in, because they don't face the same issues. But we all know all it takes is one merger to change all of that, right? Kenton Trott says, on a regular basis, young men ask me for work. The first thing they say is they just want an opportunity. That's all most people want, just an opportunity. Sheikha Reyna says, by living and working in the US, I've been able to take care of my mom in BDA. Interesting. And that's what I think a lot of foreign workers on the lower end have been able to do with their families, come Bermuda and have roommates and send money back home, right? Well, I'm not saying that's what Sheikha's doing, but I'm just saying how people go to other jurisdictions and live a bit better to take care of family. Farah Palacio says, Bermuda is so incredibly suffocating size and mentality. Well, it's like the old thing they speak about fish, right? If you put a fish in a fish bowl versus, being in a river, yeah, it's only going to grow so big, right? And that's not just physically, but mentally as well. Graham Smith says, we have two Bermudas. One is those who work or have businesses involved in the IB sector. Then we have everyone else. And IB salaries are very high with all the benefits paid by their employer. Here's the interesting thing. I sat down with a CEO in the IB sector last year. Remember I told you all that I went on LinkedIn one day and I just reached out to a bunch of CEOs, asked them for their time, and they all said yes, and I sat down. But one in particular in IB, he said to me, Bermuda's a very unique, a strangely unique place. It's one of the only places where you can have someone who makes literally $750,000 a year living next to someone who's only makes $50,000. It's incredibly interesting, right? Malachi Troy says, if you could work a year and pay a piece of property and build a house, would you still get a loan and pay it for 30 years? All right, let's come back. So Michael Daniel says, entrepreneurship rocks. What can be done to change fortunes, folks? Bermuda needs people, apparently, right? We all keep talking about Bermuda needs people. What can be done to get people back to Bermuda? What can we do? There was a comment, I want to find it, by Anthony Peets. He says, in life, you must find a way. It's a big world. In my growing up, it was build a house, get rental income, invest. Today's world, lots of things you can consider. I agree with Mr. Peets. Mr. Peets, I was talking to someone this weekend about that. I said that the way I think about life is, and I said this during my mother's service, right? She had you'll figure it out, go figure it out, right? And, we have to find a way. I think that we have to change our mentality. I say it all the time, no one's coming to save us. The government can't save us. They're not going to. What we can ask them to do is change legislation and allow policies for us to do what you're saying. Find our own way. We can do it. Larry Marshall Jr., he said it to me. We have conversations about the show, and he said, I feel the show is important, but I just hope people are taking the conversations and doing something with the information we discuss. For instance, I'm going to use Dr. Seaman and I going back and forth. My hope is that some young person will say, I want to reach out to Dr. Seaman and see how we can understand. Well, Dr. Seaman reaches out to a young person. You've got Malachi who's engaging. Have those conversations. Take it beyond this show. Remember what I say all the time. Help us grow beyond this mic. This is just a brainstorming session. That's what we have every morning. These are the brainstorming sessions. I believe in us. Last week, I realized I had a problem. I had too many people who believed in me versus me believing in myself. And that's never been me. But I believe in us. We can find a way. LW says the cost of living and the availability of activities and services is vastly different outside of Bermuda, but it's all relative, right? It's all relative. So yesterday, I tell you all everything because, we're a community like that. I was pretty upset with myself yesterday. I'm going to be honest with you. And I was upset with myself because I spent $132 on groceries. My budget for groceries is $80 a week. And I was asking myself, well, what did I buy? And I'm still trying to figure it out. But $132. Now, you all may say, oh, that's nothing. Da, 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 da. Folks, it's relative. It's relative. I could tell you I don't make as much as I did in Bermuda. Right? So it's relative. When we talk about cost of living, I live in South Florida. I have a governor that has driven this economy right up. It's very different from when I moved here 5 years ago. So yes, we can find spaces where the cost of living is easier. There are many places to do that. It takes a lot of research rather than just thinking, oh, that's so cheap, this place. Yeah, but what are you going to be paid? We've got to think on it. Seaman says, miseducation of children leads to less opportunity. A better education would help. Education, political football. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. I think, we've had that conversation numerous times on the show. Are we preparing our children for what is to come? Or is it just business as usual? Suzanne Ingham says, I don't want anything from government. Give me what is rightfully mine later for the rest. I think we have some issues, man. Rosalind Famous says, one thing we can think and do differently. Oh, I did say that. That's the diaspora. I'm sorry. We have Teray Toll. She says, oh, that makes me so happy, Jamal. Can't wait to have you back. Oh, me saying I'm returning to Bermuda. But folks, I think conversations like this are good starters, right? These are starting points. These are spaces that we need to have honest dialogue. I'm a believer that Bermuda needs people. But why not start with our own? In all my time outside of Bermuda, I'll even use Connor Smith. Connor begins, and by the way, I did book my ticket, so I am going to watch his first game, like I tell you on this show. I booked it yesterday. But like he said, he left Bermuda at 14. But look at him. He's remained connected to the island. He's bringing his team, where he's general manager and coach, to Bermuda, his first preseason. And think about the reasons why. Connor was found by the New England Revolution on a similar trip when they came to the island. And who knows what young Bermudian may show up and show out versus his team that he may give an opportunity. But the point is, he stayed connected. I've been outside of Bermuda half of my life at this point, but I have never disconnected, regardless of how much I dislike the government of the day. It is our home. And no matter how far away we go, how great our dislike becomes, always remember your country, your island, your community, your people. It's Bermuda. LW says, education reform has been going on for too long. Our kids and community will suffer. I mean, they'll probably be still doing that when the current kids become seniors, right? Kia Renee BDA says, the Living Green Expo was quite a step forward to moving toward the Bermuda I would like to see, putting our health, mentality, and self-development to the forefront. A knowledgeable organization, Island Part 1. Yeah, credit to Eugene Dean and them. Yeah. She goes on to say, can bring wealth and appeal in many different ways. And Traveling Trotty says, I was also inspired by the Living Green Expo. Dr. Mary Simmons says, over 50s, different spiritually too. All right, folks, we got to take our last break. But when we come back, somebody is going to be eligible to win a prize. All you have to do is guess the quote correctly, who said it. But before we do that, I want to do a roll call. Since we've been speaking about Bermudians considering leaving, let's do a roll call. Before we take this break, let us know where you're tuned in from. And please don't just say Bermuda, say we're in Bermuda. Don't just say the US, we're in the US. Don't just say UK or Canada, where you in. Let's do a roll call. Where are you tuned in from? I'm in Boynton Beach, Florida. Where are you at? We'll come back and somebody's going to get the chance to win a prize. Let us know where you're tuned in at.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Let's kick it off in the footwear department. When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talks, and DeWalt. The list goes on. Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time? Speaking of stylish, we also have top-quality running, walking, and workout apparel by Skechers in a variety of sizes for men and women. Cool, breathable, and dry. With our wide selection of Skechers footwear, you'll look great before, during, and after your workout. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
You'll be surprised at everything we have to offer at our huge new retail and wholesale location on Bakery Lane.
Alrighty, welcome back. Thanks again for tuning in this morning. Again, if you've appreciated this morning's community conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and do us a favor. We want to extend this conversation as far as we can go. Make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your congregation, your colleagues, whoever. We want various opinions, different opinions. We want to get to a place where we may not agree with how we want to get there, but we know where we need to be. That's only going to happen through important community conversations. So thank you for your support. We did a roll call. We've got Dr. Marie Seaman in Orlando. We've got Travin Trotty Smith, Bermuda. We've got Pembroke, Bermuda, Malachi, Troy. We've got Nisha Fabler in Warwick. We've got Helene Swan in Devonshire. We've got Hamilton Parish, Karen Simmons. We've got Warwick, Manuela Johnson, Georges, at least for 2 days of the year. We've got them. Tanya Cheeseman, St. George's, Bermuda. Paget, says Suzanne Ingham. We've got Paget, Risotto Severin. We've got Tennessee, Levon Johnson. We've got Smith's, Bermuda, Michelle White, Essex, UK. I had family in Essex. I used to visit there when I was young. Thanks for tuning in. We've got Stacey Ann Brown, Harrington Sound, Bermuda. We've got Toronto, Canada, MP out there, and Charlotte Fox, St. George's, Bermuda. We've got Pembroke, Shay Vinay. I'm from Somerset, BDA. Well, she's rapping Somerset. Says Dawn Ferber. We've got Devil's Hill, Arlena Ingham. Hey, look, Devil's Hill shows up. I like Devil's Hill, just not when they're playing Bayless Bay. There's Cleveland County folks. London, UK, Kiervade, BDA. We've got San Juan, Puerto Rico. Rosalind Famous. We've got Duck Town, Front Street. We've got Atlanta, NTS, Kent, UK, says Kathy Rogers. All right, folks. Well, let's do that thing. Let's do that thing. We've got Hamilton, BDA, Sherilyn Johnson. Let's do that thing, folks. We got that thing to do for you. All right. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by, well, thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these community conversations on a regular basis. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, are you ready? Here we go. Who said this? And thank you to all who mentioned education this morning, because that's why we're going with this quote. Quote, education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today, end quote. Who's the author of that quote? First one who answers correctly on my screen. We can't give it to Maya, but she got it first. So we're going to give it to Traveling Trotty. Traveling Trotty, congratulations. We'll give it to you. All right. Um, Stacey Ann Brown got it correctly. So, Traveling Trotty, you get in the draw. My relative. All right. Dr. Maria X sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right. Malcolm X. Yeah, you all got it. You all got it. So, Traveling Trotty, congratulations. Let's give Traveling Trotty a round of applause, folks. Give a round of applause. All right, that's enough. That's enough. All right. So, we've got some. Trot Joanne says she's in Atlanta, Georgia. Nika Neats says Birmingham, United Kingdom. So we got some folks on Instagram. But I want to go to this comment before we jet out, folks. I want to go to this comment. Fair Palacio, and I think this is a great one to end the conversation on. She says, I will say, the issues we have as a country are international. We need to find and rekindle Bermuda's real core, what truly makes us special. And thank you so much for that, because it does sound like politics, but the truth of the matter is that Bermuda's problems are not unique to Bermuda. I live in a country where there are two elderly men fighting for power, political power. It's a country where you can see poverty like no other. But it's a country that promotes itself as the land of opportunity. Bermuda's very small, extremely small. We need to figure out, for our size, how do we create a space where our people have opportunities to thrive outside of, as Kenton Trott said, IB, law, and the medical space. I think that we all love Bermuda. And I don't really believe anyone should have to leave Bermuda for a better life. But we have to create the space that we know we deserve. It's on us. And I guess the daily inspiration will stick with that quote by Malcolm X. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. Folks, please do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. And if you haven't already, go and check out that conversation with Media Maya and Leilani Nesbitt. Honestly, man, it is a very touching conversation. It's an inspirational conversation, and it's a needed conversation. Two young women that Bermuda can be proud of in their mid-20s gave you a conversation that can actually change fortunes for some of us. But go check it out. And if you want the link, just send me an email, Jamal@BermudaCommunications.com. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great Monday, because I'm going to have an awesome one. I'm a out. Peace.